Good morning, good afternoon, good night, of course, depending on your location. Welcome to our first Xporter for JIRA webinar. Actually, today we are making history. It's our first Xporter for JIRA webinar. So, my name is João Mendonça. I'm the business developer of the Expanded Ons team. And joining me today I have Miguel Arocha. I'm Miguel. Miguel is our lead developer of Xporter. And in today's webinar, we will of course go over the main features of Xporter for JIRA. This will be related to the 5.0 version of Xporter. And we'll, as I said in the beginning, we'll cover pretty much all the new features, all the previous features, and you will see quite, I think quite clearly what the add-on has to offer. As I said, this is one of the most powerful tools in terms of exporting, if not the most one, on the most used at least, in JIRA. And we do think it's quite powerful one. That's why we do think that it will be quite important for you to see what we have to offer with this add-on. Okay, but before we go and dive directly into the tool, I think it will be better, even a bit interesting for you to know a bit more about the expanded ons. I don't know if you already know our team, but at the moment we are around, we've been making software for 4 years now. And of course, we do have 3 offices in 2 different countries. We have 2 offices here in Portugal. We have Portuguese, and another one in the UK. We, of course, something that is very, very important for us are the number of our customers. We have more than 1,000 customers just for Xporter, even way more than 1,000, and all over 60 countries. So it's very important for us to have such amount of clients, as clients do contribute a lot for the product itself. So if you can see here the amount of features that we have around 300 features. And most of these features are already contributed, were already opinions from our clients in this segment. So this is something that is very important for us, and we do pay a lot of attention in terms of support. So every time you have any question regarding the product or any problem, please feel free to contact us through the support. In the end of this webinar, I will share also some links, and I will send this presentation that you see here afterwards. So you will have all the links, all the useful links, so that you can contact us and share your opinion with us and say what you think about our product. Of course, expanded ons are not just about Xporter. We do have another really cool add-on called X-Ray. Usually people know both of the tools and they use both of them at the same time. So X-Ray, even though Xporter is an add-on that is used for you to export information from your JIRA issues, from your projects, and out to some really cool templates that Miguel will show you afterwards. X-Ray is more related to QA teams, so test management. It brings the test management inside JIRA. So usually QA teams are working in separated tools. Even though the project management and the software project management is done in JIRA, they work in software tools, in QA tools outside of JIRA. So currently, what X-Ray offers you is the possibility for you to bring also this test management and your test management strategy inside JIRA, and of course build up some really cool templates out of your executions with fantastic Xporter. But that we will talk about it later. Of course, we do also have specific webinars for X-Ray. We do also invite you to check them out. We're actually having one tomorrow, and we can see also how it looks like an exporting from X-Ray test issue, and also the test execution itself. So you'll see how it looks like, not just related with the Xporter, but also how is it done via the test management. And of course, these are one of some group of our clients. So as I said previously, customers are something really important for us, because you do contribute a lot for the product, and your opinions are very important for us. And also, since you request features, it's something very important for us to realize how the product will be in the future, and how we can conduct the product to be something even better than what it is at the moment. So, but currently, of course, we will dive into the agenda and also to the webinar itself. But before we do that, I just want to tell you 2 things. So first is that this webinar is being recorded. So if you have some colleagues that were not able to attend to this webinar, and you think that you will be very interested in terms of seeing what we presented today, afterwards I will send you an email with this, not just the presentation here with all the links as I mentioned, but also with the recording of this whole webinar. So you can just take it to and show it to your colleagues, and of course there is no excuses anymore to not being able to use Xporter properly. And the second thing is about the QA. So we'll have a space in the end for questions, even though it might be a bit tight in terms of time to answer all of the questions. If you don't have the time to answer all of them, in the end we will do it, and afterwards we'll send you an email with your question, also with our answer on that. Okay, so no worries about if we are not able to cover your question in this webinar. We will do it for sure afterwards. Okay, so you have in the GoToWebinar you have the possibility to write questions there. So please feel free to write your question, and for sure you will have an answer. Okay, so from now I will pass the ball to Miguel, and they will be conducting the rest of the webinar. We will talk in the end. Go ahead, Miguel. Thank you.
Thank you, João. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Miguel, and I'm going to talk about Xporter for the next half an hour or so. So yeah, let's start this. So why was Xporter built? That's the main question here. Why does Xporter exist? I mean, JIRA have a native export feature, and I'm going to show it right now. I mean, I have here an issue from JIRA. So yeah, and JIRA gives us these export capabilities here on this menu, XML, Word, and Printable. Let's take a look at them, shall we? On XML export, we have these machine codes data. I mean, okay, I believe there's lots of data in here, but I can't read this. This is for machines, not for humans, so I don't like it. I'm closing it right now. Okay, we have a Word export. Okay, it is nice, a document that seems interesting, and here it is. It's straight out from the 90s report. I mean, this is excuse me, but it is ugly. It's just blank and some grays and hyperlinks, and oh, we have an error in here with the image. Okay, wherever that is. So okay, it is unpleasant. We have some data here. It's a document, but unpleasant as well. Let's see how this printable version. It's exactly the same thing as the Word one, except it's HTML and it has the image now. Okay, nice. I guess that's better, right? So yeah, this is the native JIRA export tool. It's kind of limited, so you can see. And how does Xporter compare to this? Well, Xporter for JIRA the Xporter for JIRA reports are built on templates, and these templates can be made by you. They can be custom templates, and with custom templates, Xporter will generate unique reports made just for you or for your company. So yeah, I'm enabling Xporter now on this JIRA instance. It's disabled just for demo purposes. So let me just enable Xporter. Okay, we have an update, but I'm not allowed to update this environment, so it's okay. It's 5. It's a great version. We already released 5.1, but it's not for this time yet. So okay, we have Xporter enabled, and if we refresh the issue page, we see our Xporter for JIRA adds a menu on this section, a web panel. And all you have to do is select a template from pre-existing templates and select an output format and press export, and we'll have a document. There we go, portable document format, and here we go. It's really pretty cover, right? And we have here an issue key right in the cover of the document. We have an header with a page number and a title with the issue key as well. We have here a semi-professional photograph just to enlighten here the report. And oh, table of contents, it's working. It's a functional table of contents. That's on this report. This report is kind of small. It doesn't need a table of contents, but on the extended report, I'm sure this will be helpful if you're exporting like thousands of issues. So yeah, and we export here some issue fields. It's like the CRM80, that's the issue we're exporting, and it's summary, error uploading report. It's summary and the description. Oh, and the description we have the image, right? That's great. That's way better than the native JIRA export tool. But okay, some more fields and some dates, the assignee and the reporter, the issue status marked as done. Hey, this issue is done, nice. Okay, and that's some fields exported there. We also exported here some comments, one comment and one image. The issue only has one of each, and one comment and one image as an attached. So yeah, that's a lot of export things. I mean, this exported the same fields as the native JIRA exporter, but at least the same it exported. I'm sure it can export a lot more. So yeah, just to let you know, this web panel is configurable. You can have it or not have it on your issue screens, but you can have Xporter enabled without having this menu in here. Okay, that's something you might not want it, so don't be alarmed with this section. So okay, how do we tell JIRA which data we want to export, right? I said that Xporter works with templates. And we tell JIRA what we want to export exactly on those templates. Let me show here the first one, the template of the report we just made, and here it is. Okay, the cover is an image, it's static, and just as it is on the template, it's exported in a final document. And the exporter will look for some special notations. This is the first one we see on this document. It's a placeholder, okay, and we use this notation, a $sign and some curly brackets, and these will be replaced by the issue key on this case. I lost the document, so let's export it again just to see, compare side by side, and there we go. This was transformed this on this, okay? Then we have this another static image, and we have the table of contents on our template. The exported file have less items, but okay, let's not get into that right now, right? So yeah, these are the fields exported. This is the notation I just showed you the key, the summary. It's $sign, and you name the field you want to export, and this will be replaced by its summary. You're using the report, the summary is replaced. We can also, sorry for switching the windows like that. We can also create an hyperlink on the document, okay? This is a notation, exporter notation to create an hyperlink. And we also can export fields with a renderer. I mean, if the description on an issue might have images or a markup, and using this notation, calling it wiki, we can call a renderer so the description on the final document is printed with its styles instead of just the raw text, okay? So yes, we have also here a date fields. On date fields, we apply formatters, a date format. We use this because Xporter, when exporting date fields, we export it on a standard ISO zone date with all the information you need to create any date. And that's just so the dates can be global. We have clients all over the globe, and each client on each time zone are used to see dates on a certain format. So with this, we can apply it to anyone, and anyone can format their dates the way they used to see dates. So okay, we export some more fields like the common components. It's a list of components. Let me here see the exported JIRA management component, MongoDB component, and Node.js component. So yeah, these are fields. They are replaced directly on the final report. There's nothing much to it. You just call it, you give it the name you want to export, and it will replace on the final document. So yeah, and we have also dynamic template blocks. These are designated with this $sign. Every dynamic template block will need a corresponding end. Okay, if you don't have one, your template won't be well well built, and your report will break and you won't have the report you want in the end. So yeah, we'll always have a correspondent end. And on this first dynamic template block, this is a conditional block. It's an if, and for those of you who might have some code knowledge, it's an if statement, and if it's true, this block will be processed on your final report. Even if it's false, it will be discarded. This is the simple way of how conditional blocks use. If it's true, it's on your final report. If it's false, it's discarded. Okay, to validate these expressions, we use a JavaScript engine. Xporter have an embedded JavaScript engine, and you can access it using this $sign and the curly brackets, and this will call a JavaScript engine, and it will apply this validation. In this case, this validation is a subtasks count. It's a placeholder created by Xporter. Xporter creates this placeholder, and this placeholder will simply have the number of subtasks of this issue. In the next example, links count, the links count placeholder will have the number of linked issues to this current issue being exported. So yes, we didn't saw these subtasks on our final report. That's because our issue didn't have any subtasks, so this was replaced by 0, and 0 went higher than 0, so it was false, and all this block was discarded. Okay. Same happened to the links, but on comments we had comments, right? Comments count was replaced by 1. 1 is higher than 0, and so this is true. So on the final report we have this pretty image and this title and these table headers. And then we're going to iterate comments. This is the second type of dynamic template blocks. Okay, it is called an iteration. On this example, we're going to iterate the issue comments. It was only 1, right, in this issue. We only had 1 comment from Pedro Rodriguez. The issue will be reviewed as development begins. And that's what happened on the final report. A comment, this issue will be reviewed when the development begins. Right? So, okay, this can be read just as it is for comments. And this means that for each comment that Xporter finds on this issue, all of its block will be repeated. We'll copy this block of the template and repeat for each comment. So if the issue adds 3 comments, there would be 3 lines of this after the header. Okay? That's just how it works. It's pretty simple and straightforward. It's an iteration. Each iteration may have their own fields. For example, here on comments, we can export the comment author or the comment body. But on other iterations, for example, we can see here on work logs, there are other fields as well. We also have the author, but here we have a comment, or we have a date started or a time spent formatted. So there are lots of iterations. I can't cover them all, and most of them have their own field types. So you'll have to check that on our documentation. I'll get right into there. I think I just overviewed all of these templates. So yes, I'm going into our public documentation and give you an overview. Here we are. So okay, this is our public documentation, right? This is the main page. And in here you can find multiple guides like installation guide or administration guide and the user guide. On this webinar, we'll be focusing on the user's guide on the section working with templates. But before that, I'd like to enhance this section of the Xporter Academy. This is a section we created recently. We made lots of exercises as examples. You can find lots of exercises from both how to configure Xporter or how to create templates, from complexity levels, from basic to advanced. And these exercises have like step-by-step how to solve them. So it's a great knowledge base in here. So when you're trying to learn how to work with Xporter, don't forget to come to Xporter Academy. You'll have lots of examples on here, so you can learn more about Xporter, okay? So, but yeah, we were on user's guides. As I said, we will be covering this section, working with templates. And let's see what we have here. Mappings. The mappings, these are the placeholders I talked about, like the key or the assignee, used with this notation, the $sign. We have here a long list on this table of native fields usually used, accessible on all issues. I'm not going through them. As you can see, there's lots of them. You can come to our documentation and look at them whenever you want. Besides those native fields, we also support any custom fields. You can have a custom field called my special and only custom field, and if you want to export it, all you need to do is to insert on your template this notation, just as any field, and write its name. This is a custom field name, and it will be transformed on the data on the issue. Simple as that. Just as any other field, we support all custom fields on your issue. So, and not just text fields, we support lots of field types, like I showed you for date pickers, where you use formatters. We can export user fields, where we can also apply formatters, or text fields, or we also integrate with other add-ons. So, but I'll get into that later. That's, as you can see, we can export most fields from an issue. If you find any problem exporting any issue from your field, contact us through our support portal, and we'll see what's going on. And if we don't support it, we'll try to support it as soon as we can. We covered as well some conditional blocks, right? This is just the documentation, how they're built with JavaScript. Here you have some examples of using conditional blocks. Okay, just can come here and take a look at it whenever you want it. Also, you have on this page some examples of how to use JavaScript, some examples of use cases with JavaScript. A direct JavaScript on a template, okay? You can also use JavaScript on a template and have an output without having to use it on a conditional block. And we covered iterations as well. So, as you can see, we have lots of iteration, and each have their own fields. We're not covering them all. Just you can iterate lots of things about an issue, like its activity, its comments, work logs, subtasks, attachments. So yeah, let's get an example on here. Like, let's see, iterating work logs. We can export the author of who logged the work, or a comment if it has a comment associated, its date. So we can also export the build hours. This is a Tempo timesheets plugin only feature. We integrate with them to export this field as well. Or for example, iterating attachments. We have fields like the MIME type to know the type of the attachment or the size of the attachment. So yeah, each iteration have their own fields. So I'd recommend, when you're building your templates, come to this page and take a look at what you can build, on how you can build it. Okay, another thing. For those of you who are on software development projects, we can also export the web development panel, that panel which will have the commits and the branches and pull requests. We also support that. Okay, we can also export that data. And for those of you as well who have coding know-how, you can also apply break or continue statements on iterations. I'm not going into these, or what are break or continue statements, but we support them on iterations as well. Okay, and just to end this iteration section, there's something I've got to talk to you about. It's the filters. You can filter iterations, and the way it works is just combining an iteration and a conditional block. Okay, for each cycle iteration you'll have, a conditional block will be validated, and if the filter is true, this cycle will be printed on the report. If it's not, okay, let's go to the next iteration and see if the next one is valid and is supposed to be exported on the report. I hope that made sense. It's quite simple. It's just, we know iterations, we know conditional blocks. An iteration with a filter is an iteration with a conditional block, which is validated every step of your iteration. Okay, that's it about iterations. What have we covered more? We've covered the renderers, wiki renderer, HTML render, and how to create a link. We saw that on the first template, right? We also support document properties, and these properties can be used like to define the document title, or the document organization. So yeah, we also support this. These fields will be replaced after the report is generated. And these are Microsoft Word or Microsoft Excel properties, so I'm not going deep into what we can do with these, but we support them as well. And formatting fields, we saw these formats. I gave you an example of formatting dates, but we can also format a number fields or user fields to retrieve the full name of the user or his email address. So yeah, lots of things here we can cover, right? So, okay, we just been lots of time here on documentation. I'm just getting full of this theory. So I'm going to show you a neat feature, okay? We developed recently from not very much time, we recently developed a new feature that's to give your support portal customers the ability to export their tickets, okay? If I'm going to show it to you. It's way simpler. Let's say we have this project from JIRA Service Desk, and we have this ticket. If we are an administrator or an agent of the support portal, we have this issue view, and on this issue view, you can export with this panel, right? We already know this panel, and we have access to this panel. But this is only if we are an agent or an administrator. If you are the creator, you don't have access to this page. You only have access to this page, right? And on this page, you can't export anything. So we had a client of ours, who wanted to let their customers export their tickets. So we implemented a solution for them. And I'm going to show it to you. So you have to be the creator of the ticket. I'm not the creator of the ticket. The creator is this Peter Smith. So I'm going to open a new window and enter with him. So we just have so we can see the feature. Okay, here we are. Now I'm Peter Smith, and Xporter for JIRA adds this menu. Okay, we just click export, and here we have our exporter menu that we already know. It's select the template, select the output format, and export. And here we have our ticket information. This is based on a template as well. Okay, the template gave us this result, and the customer adds its report exported on a neat portable document format, right? So that's the neat feature I wanted to show you. Nobody else can do this, export directly from a ticket, from their own tickets, and Xporter supports it. Okay, so we've been exporting single issues and tickets. What if I want to export lots of issues? I mean, I have this filter, nice, I have a filter for this release, and I want to export these issues. I want information from these issues, and when I release version 2, I want to be able to export those issues. Okay, so Xporter allows that, and it's pretty simple. You just have this issue selected with this filter or any JQL, and you come to Exporter menu and press Exporter for JIRA, and here we go. We're on a new page. This will retain the selected issues, the previously selected issues. And you just select the template and select the output format as usual. On this example, I'm going to use an Excel template. So we support both Word templates or Excel templates, and we can also export them into their own each types. If you Excel template, you can export them to Excel, or in a Word template, you can export them to Word or to portable document formats. I just already show you that. So yeah, and I'm going to give you an example with an Excel template. So before I do the export, let's think a little about this. So we're exporting multiple issues now, and we have no knowledge how to do this. I mean, we knew how to export data from an issue, but not from multiple issues. So it's better if I just show you the template, okay? Because we have a special notation for this as well. And it's pretty simple. It's just a for issues user notation with the ampersand for issues, and this will create another dynamic block. And this just means for each issue that I'm exporting on my context. I'll add a new line of this, a new row in this case, and fill it with its data. Okay, it's just as simple as that, and we'll have the report. Okay, that was simple, just a new notation for issues. So I'm exporting the issues, and there we go. Just comparing from the template to the final report. As you can see, we have here all the issues from the previous filter. Okay. Just to check it, from CRM 1, 2, 3, blah, 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 till, okay, where does this end? On the 72, and then there's even more 5, 72, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, that's correct, right? So these are the issues from that filter. They're exported inside that dynamic block of 4 issues, and they're all there. And if you want to export another data, you just, instead of assignee, you want to export the time spent, total time spent of the issue. You just have to change the fields in here, okay? Or add new fields to export. Xporter allows you to export anything you want. So that's it for a multi-issue export. Just have to have this new notation in count, I mean, for issues. Oh yeah, if you didn't have the 4 issues, I'm going to open the template again. If you didn't have, for example, if you didn't have this is a feature, the behavior is known and we want this behavior, because if you didn't have the 4 issues, instead of only copying this line for each issue, what will happen is the whole template will be copied for each issue. So we'd have this, and then we'd have another like this for the next issue, and another. And okay, this is a correct behavior. There are use cases where this applies. This is not the case on this report, right? On this report, we want to iterate each issue. So that's it. Okay. We can use 4 issues on multi-issue or not, and that will have different behavior on our final report. Okay. And we also have another multi-issue export. This is the only exportation from Xporter which doesn't use a template. Okay, I started by telling you that Xporter is based on templates and creates unique reports with custom templates. We have an export feature without the templates. This is an export that by pressing it here, what will happen is Xporter will look at the screen, see the columns that are present, see the issues that are present, and mirror the screen on a report, on an Excel report. Okay, let's just see. Here we are. So I can see these are the columns, issue type, it's the issue type, the key summary till the description, and all of the issue data. So, and in here you can add new columns, modify columns, add another columns, custom field columns, and Xporter will look at the screen and mirror on the report. Okay, this is not with the template, it won't be a pretty report like a Word, but it will have your data in here mirrored by this screen. So yes, this was a template with report without a template, and now I'm going to try to confuse you a little more. Okay, we have single issue exportation, we had multiple issues exportations, and now I'm going to show you how to export without an issue context. Okay, so we have this menu here, Xporter reports, and on this screen we're not on any project or any issue, so we have no context. We don't know where we are. We have no filters or JQL in here. So how does this work? So I'm going to show you the template, because in here we'll have a new iteration, another iteration that I haven't spoken, and it's the JQL issues iteration. So how does this work? Okay, during runtime, when Xporter is building your report, if Xporter encounters this type of iteration, JQL issues, it has a clause associated with it, and Xporter will look into this clause and ask JIRA for issues who satisfies this clause. Okay, during the runtime when your report is being generated. So, okay, in this case, the clause is pretty simple. It's a project equals CRM, so it will be all issues from this project. And the rest of the iteration is just like any other iteration. This line will be copied for each issue that satisfies this condition, and the data will be exported in here. So I guess that's it, pretty simple. You just paste in here the valid JQL, Xporter will ask JIRA for its issues, and generate them in runtime, and you'll have your final report. Let's test it. There we go, project overview. This is our template, export. Then that was fast. And it's opening, I guess. Ah, here it is. So yeah, we have here all the CRM issues, right? So I suppose that's all of them, and that's what JIRA gave Xporter. So these are all the issues that satisfies that clause. It's all the issues from that project, and it's here exported. So yeah, pretty simple, right? With this template, we didn't add any issue context. We didn't have to go to an issue and exporter or go to a filter and export this type of issues. No, this template was like autonomous, and this template knew what it wanted, and this template went and retrieved it and built the report based on that. Besides this JQL iteration, this report was also prepared to display charts based on exported data, and this is just a simple example of the power of the engine, of the Excel engine of Xporter, and what you can do with this. So, for example, we built this chart based on the data exported, right? It was built this chart that's just a grouping of issue types, and you can see like this project, half of issues are of type story, okay? Or we can group by status and see that we have 55 issues done, marked as done. Or we can group by assignee and see that Miguel Rocha is the one who works more on this project, or Rui Rodrigues as well. So, okay, you can do this with Excel templates. So you can export your data, you can create charts based on your data, and that's pretty powerful. I already saw with some customers, helping some customers with custom reports. I've already saw some Excel templates with more than 10 sheets with really complex things. So yeah, you can do really powerful things. I just wanted to mention, I think I forgot earlier, that you can create both templates on Word or Excel, but you can also use them on both single issue or multi-issue exports. I explained in here multi-issue with Excel templates and single issue with Words, but that was just a demonstration, okay? You can use Word templates on multi-issue or Excel on single issue or any combination of those, okay? Just don't think that Excel is only for multi. So, okay, this is all I wanted to show you about action-based reports, okay? Reports where you press a button and have a report. We have another type of reports. Those are like event-based reports. Those reports are triggered by an event. And those events can be like a schedule report, which means a cron expression. For those of you who don't know what a cron expression is, I'm not going into that, but it's just an expression who defines a schedule or a periodicity. And we've seen here an example already. We have here a schedule report already configured with this cron expression. Okay, don't mind it. I'm just going to tell you this cron expression will be triggered every minute. Okay, and this schedule report, you can see in here, will send an email. I already know where the email will be sent. It will be sent here into this email address I have. It is just for demonstration purposes, and it's empty, as you can see. So I'll be enabling this schedule report, and as this is triggered every minute, we'll have to wait to receive an email. In the meantime, I'm going to give you a brief overview of schedule report. So to manage a schedule report, you have to fill a pop-up like this dialog. You have to give him a name and a cron expression. You'll define where the data source comes from, if it's an exporter report. Exporter reports are the autonomous reports we just saw, okay? The last one we saw with all those charts are the no issue context exports. Or we can use a filter. These are existing filters. We saw these filters on the issue screen, issue search screen. Or you can enter a direct JQL here, like project equals CCRM, right? Whatever. So, but no, we were using exporter reports. Using the template that we just saw, okay, this will trigger the same report we just saw because it was autonomous template. And we defined a file name of the final document. And on this case, there we go. We are sending it by email, but we also have another action types, like we can save locally on the server that JIRA is running. You just have to enter here the path we want the report to be stored, or you can upload a file. Xporter for JIRA can manage file servers. That's out of the scope of this demonstration, but really fast. Xporter can automatically upload your reports to a Confluence page or to a file transfer protocol server. Okay, these are what we call file servers on Xporter. They are configured within Xporter, and then Xporter can automatically upload reports to them. Okay, this isn't happening on the schedule report as well. The schedule report is just sending an email here to this email address with the subject to these two users. Xporter can understand that these are users and send to their emails, and to our demonstration email address. We can also fill here the body of the email, right? So yeah, I already received 2 emails. I've been talking about the dialogue for at least 2 minutes. So I'm disabling it to stop spamming email. Okay, and as you can see, we received the email. Is the body of the email. It went to all those configured persons, right? And attached we have the report. This is the report that we just saw. We just saw in the last example. It's just opening just so you can see it. Exactly the same report with the charts, okay? But yeah, it was triggered by a cron expression, in this case every minute, which is kind of too much, but you can define a cron expression to receive an email or receive an update on your issues like every week or every month. That's up to you. That's the power of cron expressions. It's your schedule, your routine. And yeah, that's it, schedule reports. Really awesome. I really like this feature. And the other event-based reports are post function, are workflow post functions. So you can define on your workflows and administration. You can define that when a issue is triggered as done, marked as resolved, you can trigger a exporter post function, and that can be like create a document and upload it to a file server or attach it to the issue, or send it by email. And just as we saw with the scheduled reports, we can send a report by email as well on a status transition. Okay, so I'm just going to show you briefly. I'll have to edit. I have here 2 post functions already configured. I'm just going to show you. So when an issue starts progress, someone starts progress on an issue, or that means when the status of that issue is changed to in progress, a post function will be triggered, exported post function, and here it is. The file in progress will be created from this template and it will be attached to the issue. I'm just going to edit just so you can have a view of the menu to configure this post function. We can tell them to attach the file or not. Okay, we're attaching the file to the issue where the status transition is happening. We select the template and output as always. Okay, we give him a file name. We can select if we want to upload a file, just the file service that I just spoke. Okay, and okay, that's it. In this case, it will attach the report to the issue, and on the transition to done, I created a post function to send an email to the same email address as we already know. Okay, here it is. No emails, no new emails, and it will be created from this template and in this format. Pretty simple. Okay, so we have a post function for the in progress transition and a post function for the done transition. let's just see them in action. I'm going to discard these drafts. Okay, so let's go here to this issue. Oh, I already have an attachment in here. Let me delete this. Okay, so yes, I have this issue. It's assigned to me. I'm Miguel. For those of you who didn't get it in the beginning. So yeah, we have this issue in to do. So when I start progress, it's supposed to have a attached report. Here it is, called in progress, just like we said on the post function. And here we have a report with a QR code and everything. That's it. So yeah, a post function was triggered, and it's automatically attached the report to the issue, but it could have been uploaded to a file server, right? So now I'm resolving the issue, marking it as done. Now there's nothing attached. That wasn't the post function in the case. The post function was to receive an email. So, oh, there it is. CCR, oh, right, you have here the issue queue. You can use placeholders as well. So yeah, CCRM43 marked as done, and I wanted this email address to receive this email, and it receives the report attached to the email, and there it is, the report that we just saw yesterday, just before. Okay, and that's all types of reports from Xporter. We saw single issue exports, multi-issue, we saw action-based and event-based reports, integration with JIRA Service Desk. Here on our documentation, we have a section just for integrations. I think I already take a look at this. These are some integrations with other plugins, like X-Ray, of course. We can export everything from X-Ray as well. And okay, that's it from exportations. Let me just give you an overview through the administration section of Xporter. Here on global settings, you can define how Xporter will behave. For example, output formats. We never saw OpenOffice format. We only have Word or PDF or Excel formats enabled. So that were the only ones we always saw. It's a behavioral setting. We can enable, like, if we want Xporter to be public, and anyone without a login on our JIRA can export anything. That's not really recommended, but you can also configure that behavior in here, among other settings. We have templates management template section. Here you add your templates to Xporter, and you can define their scopes. Scopes is just where the template can be used. For example, I want this template only to be used on a single export, on a multi-export. Okay, it is just a template management page. We have a template store. Okay, this template store, in here you can directly install templates to your JIRA instance. You just press install and it's installed on your JIRA instance. Here you'll have lots of examples of both Word or Excel templates, and they're here to be used, and they're here for you to inspire on them and create your own custom templates, okay? And just to finish our administration section, we have the permission schemes section. This is really important, okay? In here you can define which projects can use Xporter and which issue types can be used with Xporter. That means which issue types are allowed to be exported, and which roles can export, and you can associate templates to issue types. So in here on this page, you'll manage all the permissions of who you want to access Xporter and export your data, okay? This is some pretty management skills you'll need in here, but I'm sure if you get your hand into this, you'll have this really nice. So that's everything here on JIRA. Let me just roll back to our documentation. I'm really finishing. I hope you're still all there. So yeah, so just to end, I want to show you our roadmap. We have here a public roadmap. This demonstration was made with 5.0. We already released 5.1, and here you can find some of the new features we'll be implementing in the next release on the future versions. Okay, you can come here whenever you want and check how are the status of our roadmap. Feel free and feel obliged to go to our issue tracker and vote and watch our issues. We take that on account. Okay, just I gave you examples. We look at what our customers want and we adapt our development process just to please you. Okay, we want you to have the best experience with our add-ons. And just to finish, we have both the exporter on the server version and the cloud version of JIRA. All this demonstration was made with the server version, okay? On cloud, all the core features are present. You can export issues and multi-issues and everything, except for some of the most newer features. Those weren't implemented still yet on the clouds, but they will be, okay? Most of them will be. We want to have the both products as similar as possible. But yeah, not yet. It's not completely equals yet, but here you can see the comparison of the both feature on both products. And that's everything from me. I hope you're all there yet. And thank you very much. I'm going to pass to João. Okay, thank you guys.
Thanks a lot, Miguel. Thank you very much for your time here. It's been great, actually. Let me go back to our magnificent PowerPoint. And since we already covered pretty much all the agenda, I thought it was, as I said at the beginning, it was a quite extensive feature review. So we went point by point, checking out what Xporter has to offer. And as you saw, it has a lot, actually. That's why I said it's most complete exporting tool that you can find currently in the JIRA marketplace. So about additional resources, as Miguel said, the Exporter for JIRA documentation is something really important. You have all the information there, all the information that you have, that you can find, that you need. I would say that 70, 80, even 90% that you might need for the add-on to get it going, it's present there in the documentation. We've been reviewing it week by week, so we do think it's quite complete one. Of course, as Miguel also mentioned, the Xporter Academy is there for you to use, so please use it. You have exercises there. If you want to increase your knowledge about Xporter, even to test yourself how good you are in terms of the add-on, you have their exercises, we have their explanations, so everything is pretty much there. And it will be also good for you to encourage your colleagues to use it and to test yourselves, because yeah, there is still a learning curve for you to keep up with the add-on and work with the add-on. So it's not really the most easy add-on to work with. So that's why we created this Xporter Academy. We made a lot of effort to get it going, so it's there for you. You are invited to use it. Of course, something very important is also our website. We do have a blog there that we post quite regularly, some news and some new features, some new themes, and some tutorials there. So keep an eye on that. It's something that if you want to get noticed and to at least to see how is it going with our add-on, especially with Xporter, the information is there, and you can keep up directly from our blog. And if you want to keep up even faster and even in a short way, Twitter is like we are on Twitter, of course, and we keep up with all the features there, and it's I think it's one of our most used tool in terms of communicating with our clients. So the Twitter's account is, if you have Twitter, just follow us and you will keep up with all the new features and stuff. About our YouTube channel, we do have some videos there. We'll try to make it more, so more tutorials, specific tutorials. This webinar will be there as well, so you can just afterwards share it with your colleagues and see it once again. And also about our sandbox, that you can, if you don't have the ability to test or to install the trial of Xporter, you can use our sandbox, where you have the latest version of JIRA and also the latest version of Xporter. Okay, so with this said, of course it's time for questions. And we will give you, let's say, 30 seconds, because we are already out of the time actually that we had planned. So we'll give you, I guess, 30 seconds for you to write. I've been actually answering some of the questions during the webinar and during Miguel's presentation. But if you still have some, feel free to write in these next 30 seconds. We'll try to at least one or two cover it here. As I said in the beginning, if you're not able to cover it in the webinar, during the webinar stage, we will do for sure afterwards with the email. Okay, so 30 seconds. So we are ready with 30 seconds, actually been a bit of echo here. But so we have actually two questions still to answer, and we'll have a lot more, but those we're not able to cover here, we will cover afterwards and send you an email with the answer. So the first one, Miguel, is about exporting from JIRA directly to Confluence page. We actually answered to this, but there is some more emphasis to give, right? So what is it possible actually to be done, and what it needs some previous configuration regarding this?
Okay, thank you for your question. I talked a little about Confluence pages on the document on the demonstration, and yes, we can export into a Confluence page, but not directly from action-based exportation. Those where you click a button and you have a report. Those it's to get a report on your session. To directly upload to a Confluence page, you'll have to have your JIRA instance linked with your Confluence instance, and you'll have to configure, like I didn't explain it, I just show you very briefly. You'll have to configure a new file server of the type Confluence, and then you'll say there which space and which page of the Confluence you want to upload the report, and on schedule reports or post function reports with the create document post function, you can upload those reports into a Confluence page. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what you mean with JIRA directly, but not directly from an action based, but yes, directly from an event based report.
Okay, so another one actually is more to me regarding how does it work with the licensing. So just for you to have a concrete idea, when you are buying an add-on, this is for all the add-ons. This is something that Atlassian we need to fulfill the rule from Atlassian that we need to fulfill actually. So whenever you buy Xporter, the add-on, the number of users that you are buying, so the user tier that you are actually buying, needs to match your JIRA overall user tier. Okay, so let's say that you are using JIRA for 500 users. You will also need to buy Xporter for JIRA for those 500 users. Same for the cloud version. Okay, so both server and cloud, it's pretty much the same thing. Of course, the prices you can check in our website or in the Atlassian marketplace. They're all there, easily there, accessible. But this is pretty much it. So even though that you might say that, or something that happens that the client requests us about the possibility of okay, I'm just let's say that I have a JIRA title of 50 users and just 3 or 4 will actually use Xporter. Yeah, that's fair enough, but according to these rules, yeah, you need to buy Xporter for the 50 users, okay? So this is pretty much it. In terms of questions, of course, we will answer them via email. We are completely out of time at the moment. So please feel free to contact me afterwards via email. We will try to answer all the questions. Let me just show you my email here in the screen. So you are also more than welcome to write me an email, not just about the question, but also if you want to give us some feedback related to the product or related to this webinar. It's always a pleasure to hear you. It was also a pleasure to have you here with us. So we had actually a full house, so it was a lot of attendees. So it was really interesting for us to see in the first webinar to have so many people attending. It means that there's a lot of attention regarding this add-on. It's something really important for us. Thanks a lot, guys, for having this time with us once again. Thank you, Miguel, for the time and for the presentation.
Thank you, João.
I hope it was good enough also for you. And if you have more questions, just feel free to write me an email. It was really a pleasure. Have a good one. Bye-bye.